there, welcome back. We're having a great time today. I'm so excited about this program to show you a way that you can enhance your learning and get even more done when you're using Zoom, when you're in a meeting and you want to remember that and go back over it. I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. It's kind of a neat little trick that I figured out recently and I want to share it with you. Hi, I'm Terry Brock and it's time now for Talking Tech Tips with Terry, Tuesday at 2. It's 2 o'clock here on the Eastern Shore and we are going to talk about this little tool called Zoom. We do that a lot, and here at Dental Nachos we use Zoom quite a bit. Matter of fact, Dr. Paul Goodman, our hero, who we affectionately call Dr. Nachos, is using it extensively and doing a lot with it. And so what we're going to do is show you how you can use a feature, because one of the things that is really handy is learning. You are often in meetings in Zoom. You're in meetings where someone really, really smart who can communicate really well is saying something really important, and you want to hear that. And so we record it and you can go back over it. One of the really nice things we have with Zoom is not only recording with audio and video, but also you get a transcript. Now the transcript is really nice to have. We've used that for a while. And the way it works, you do have to have the higher level programs. This is not available on the free version, but with the higher level programs, you get a chance to have the transcript if you choose. You don't have to have it. And you can say, all right, let's have that. And here's where it can really come into play. So let's say you're having just a meeting with some colleagues. You got maybe 2 of you together, 3 of you together, or whatever. And you go back and you were thinking, that meeting we had last week, we talked for about an hour and a half or so, and Sally mentioned something really important, and I forget what it was. It was right when she was saying she was going to be taking a trip to Boston, and something on there. Well, you know what you can do to find out about it? Rather than go back and listen to the whole thing, what you can do is with the transcript, you can then go to this transcript, bring it into your word processing or your text processing document that you have. That could be Word, it could be Pages over on the Mac, could be Google Docs, a number of different tools. And you've got a transcript of it, you put it in there, and so you know you want to find out what she was talking about right about the time she mentioned her trip to Boston. So you do a search for the word Boston, and there it is. Hey, that's pretty good. And then you get a chance to see right there alongside it what's happening and where it is, where it's going to hang out, and those kind of things. Hey, if you're using Zoom or you're doing some creative things with it, would love to hear from you. If you are watching this right now live, let us know in a comment. Would love to hear from you on that. You can let us know how you're using Zoom, some creative ways you're doing it, and particularly if you're using the transcript. And this live transcript is what we're going to be talking about now. The live transcript is pretty amazing when you think about the capabilities and what you can do with it, because it gives you the ability to, well, like for instance, last week I was in a session last Saturday with a really good program, really good speaker named Donna St. Louis, who was speaking to our National Speakers Association local chapter, Central Florida, and she had a lot of good information that she was saying, and I thought, wow, this is good, and I'm writing them down. You know what it's like when you're taking notes, you're writing down, or you're typing it in on another device, or you're trying to do whatever, and also getting screen captures every so often. Well, that's good, but inevitably I find I don't get as much, and I want to go back over it, and I'd like to review that again. Well, I found this little trick that I'm going to show you that can really help a lot. And we're always looking for ways that we can get ahead. That's what Dr. Paul says, Paul Goodman, Dr. Nachos, and looking for ways that we can help each other, how we can push ourselves, and I like the way he says it, test, don't guess. Test it, try it out. So I tested this and did it in a live program, a real live program, and guess what? It works. It works really, really well. And I was able to get the transcript. It was about a 3-4 hour program, you know, one of those Saturday morning meetings where everyone's there and they recorded the whole thing. Now there was a lot in there I didn't need to worry about, things that were administration announcements and things that are going on and people saying, hello there, how you doing today, et cetera, et cetera. But I'll talk to you about that a little bit. But what I can do is I went and zeroed in on what Donna, who was the speaker, had to say and reiterated that in my brain to really enhance the learning. We know that repetition is the mother of learning. And so as you repeat something over and over, it helps you to learn it and remember it a whole lot better. So what you're going to be able to do here is you're going to be able to create live transcripts in Zoom. Now again, this is different than the transcripts that we have that you have to wait a little while for it to process. These appear on the screen below, or you can see it over on the side on the right, depending on how you position it. And you can put that in there, but there are a few little steps you have to go through to make sure all of this comes through just the right way and make it happen in the right way. So first of all, you need to set it up in Zoom.us. The administrator needs to do that. So make a point of that. If you're taking notes on this right now, make sure you set it up in zoom.us. You'll go in there and you'll make sure that you can set that up in your meeting session, and they'll show you, I'll show you in just a moment how to do that. Now remember, the account admin needs to set it up. Whoever that is, the account administrator, the person who has the authority, the person really responsible for that account. In larger organizations, that could be one person who is in charge of that, or they might have a team of people. In most dental offices, it's probably the office administrator or office assistant, someone that's there handling the business side of things, and that person will be the administrator. And of course, letting the dentist do that too would be a good thing as well. There's a lot that are available there. So let's see what Zoom says. The actual words and what they're saying. I'm over here on Zoom's website, and on Zoom's website, they have you can do a search on this, by the way, on your own here if you'd like later. Viewing closed, captioning, and live transcription. That's what you want. Write those words down, because then you can do a quick Google search on that and find out what they say. Viewing closed, captioning, and live transcription. And what I want to do is make that a little bit larger here for you so you can see it a little bit easier. There we go. It says Zoom has a variety of options for creating closed captioning in meetings and webinars you attend, which provides subtitles of the spoken in-meeting communication. This may be used for participants to easily follow the conversations or to meet accessibility requirements. See, and what they just mentioned there is really important. There's 3 reasons why you would want to use these transcripts. Number 1, those who are hearing impaired and could use a little bit of help hearing it better. Well, seeing it down there below is really good. You get a chance to see it and then hear it, and it's got some really nice features to that. Oh, and we got our buddy Bob Pick is back. Bob, awesome. Please listen to Terry. I just learned something new. Well, good. And people are learning from you too, Bob, all the time. Bob's a periodontist up in the Chicagoland area there in Aurora, and always glad to have him with us. But yeah, Bob, this is a really good little tool, and it's nice for getting those transcripts. And we're talking about seeing the captions while you are talking, not just storing them and catching them later. This is while you're talking. So that's real good. And as I mentioned, that's real nice for those who, let's say, need a little help in hearing better. That's one. Another one would be those who are listening to you that do not speak your native language. My native language is English, American. So I understand it, but still, I like to see the words in there. That's real good, and that's a third benefit right there. I have found that when you can incorporate multiple senses, sensory modality in different areas, you enhance the learning experience. What does that mean? What does that mean in English, Terry? Well, that means if I hear you and I see you, I'm going to learn even more. And if I can be experientially having this experience, I'm going to understand it and really do it more. And by the way, for those of you that present, that's important. Bring in as many modalities as you can so that people hear it and they go, I like that. Yeah, that's really something. And then they see it. So you do visuals, things like that. By the way, notice what I'm doing here. I'm using eCam as I'm going out to Facebook and to LinkedIn and to Twitter, and doing all of this at the same time. And I think this is something that's going to be really handy, that's going to give you the ability to do that, but also bring in experience. Have people do something. If you're running a meeting in Zoom, one of the things you'll want to do is get frequent feedback from those who are joining you. And that can be done through the chat. So you say, leave a note here in the chat about this. Matter of fact, I'm doing that right now, practicing what I preach. If you're watching this, and if you're catching it on recording, still leave a comment there, because we follow up with this. Here at Dental Nachos, we watch what's there, and we look at the comments that are there, and like to find out what we can do. If you've got a question, we want to help you with that. We can make sure that you get the kind of information you need and the kind of help when you need it. So these are 3 reasons why you want to use these transcripts. Number 1, people who might be hearing impaired. Number 2, those who are not speaking your language as their native language. It helps to see the words. I know, for instance, I'm studying Spanish right now. I am loving it when I can see and hear a Spanish video. And I see the people, I'm hearing them talk, and sometimes I'm going, what was that they said? But when I can read it in Spanish, I go, oh, there's a couple of new words I didn't know. So this is really, really helpful and can help a lot in many ways. And we got Kendall joining us. Hey, great info. Glad you like it, Kendall. And he's joining us on Facebook as well. You can see the little Facebook symbol there. And yeah, this is a really handy little thing that, Kendall, I think you can use in some of the communication that you're doing as well. This can be really handy because it's going to enhance that in many, many different ways. and use it. So those are the three areas why you'd want to do it. So let's take a look at how you would go about doing this. What you're going to do, whoops, I pressed the wrong button there. Come over here and I'm going to go back to that screen. There we go. Just got to press the right buttons, and when we do, we're set. So what you'll do is using this for setting it up. And remember, again, you have to refer to the admin guide. So your admin is going to do this, and you can do it. Now, you can also do it, as they say here, with integrated third-party closed captioning service, or Zoom's live transcription feature can automatically provide captions. That's huge. They can automatically give you those transcripts right there. Now, and they show here on this page, how you do it, who it's for, Windows, Mac, and Linux as well, Android and iOS, all there, and the live transcription here. You can do it on the Zoom client here, or the mobile app, etc. And then you can view the closed captioning. Here's another nice thing you can do. You follow this here on the page when you go there. You can adjust the size of the caption. You can make it real small and you go, oh, okay, I can read that. But if you want to make it larger to read it easier, yeah, that's okay too. So make a note that you can adjust the size of caption on your computer. And so what you'll want to do there is make sure that you adjust that accordingly. Adjusting the caption size is what they talk about here. It's next to the start video, stop video, select video settings, then accessibility, and under closed captions, move the slider to adjust the caption size. I remember doing that. I was like a little kid going, woohoo, look at this, woo, back and forth. I'm like that, okay? I'm having fun with it, and we're going to have some fun as we go through it. So these are some of the features that are really, really nice. And so what you'll do is then, here's the thing you want to do. I'm showing you how you put all that together, but there's a vital step, and this is very important. When you're the user, and you are there and you're listening to that live presentation from a guest speaker who is really good at that topic. She really knows her stuff, and you want to listen to what she got. Like last week when I was listening to Donna, she really is good. For speakers, she was showing us some real good insights on what to do. And of course, we wanted to record it. Yes, we got the recording, but I was able to do even more, because what I did is when I clicked on it, I saw that it showed me the transcript over in the lower right corner. You'll see transcript. And so what I did is I clicked on Save File. And when I clicked on Save File, that's okay. That means at the end, it's going to come back and show me what's going on and do some nice things there. But what I wanted to do was also to have it right there, so I could see it again. And this is something that's real handy. And we've got Don joining us from out there in Houston. Great ideas. Can you interrupt or pause the transcription when sharing a video? What's happening is, as you're doing the transcript, I think you could, I don't know if you could turn it off. Like if you're doing it right there, I'd have to check on that. I would think you probably could, but then you might lose it again. You'd probably have to go back and maybe start a different session. That is a real good question on it. And so I think the idea is be careful. If I understand what you're saying, you might be going this. Let me know on this if I'm on the right track here. For instance, there might be something that was said and you think, we don't want this one recorded. So we're going to turn off recording, turn off transcripts, and this is just between us. We don't want anyone hearing this. We're all raising our right hand saying we will not record it, and something like that. So that would be good. I think, though, really realistically, when you're using Zoom, you're using the technology today, it's best to assume that everything you're saying and doing is being recorded, even if it looks like it's not. If you take that approach and just behave yourself circumspectly, there's a word I don't get to use very often, behave yourself circumspectly. I like to do that sometimes. It's kind of fun. But yeah, get that out there. But make sure you're really cautious and careful on what's going on with that. And that could be really good. So I would say do that. But Don, good to hear from you. Always good to have you join us and get a chance to leave your comments. I value what you're saying and what you got to say. So this is something that can be real handy. You do that. You'll get the transcript and you save the file. And then here's what I did. Another little trick. And this is free, by the way. The beauty of it. Go over. I was running my laptop computer. Matter of fact, right here on my laptop computer. I got that. I'm doing this right here. And I went over and opened up Google Docs. Opened up a Google Doc. I started one saying, okay, and then I gave it a name, Donna, St. Louis, put the date in there, NSA, Central Florida, put that in there and all that. And that was really good. And then what I did is I took that, I tried to get the transcript there on Zoom, and I tried to do a highlight and then copy it, and it would not let me copy it. When I did the Command C, you do Control C over on Windows, Command C on my Mac to try to copy it, it just went beep, beep, like it's just kind of sitting like the computer's sitting there crossing its arm going, not going to do it, not going to do it. And I thought, well, golly gee, what are we going to do here? I don't know. So then I thought, wait a minute. What if I save the file which I did. It's not finished. She was still talking. I saved the file, and it saved it up to that point as a scripted file, a TXT file on my computer. And I thought, oh, I can do something with that. So I took that TXT file, opened it up in the text format or the text reader, and then I just did a Command A, which selected all the text on all the pages, and then Command C. Okay, select all, then copy. Bounced over to Google Docs, and then in Google Docs, I did a Command V. You do a Control V, I think, on Windows. Command V as in paste. I don't know where they got V for paste, but it goes in there. So we pasted it, and guess what happened? Like that. The transcript that had been up to that point, all the words said, at least as best as they could interpret it in there, they put it in there, in the Google Doc, and I had it right there. And I thought, wow. So I kept doing a file save, and then at the end of the whole session, when they said, okay, thanks everybody for coming, bye, click, and they signed it off, that a transcript appeared. The text file again. Well, I went over, grabbed it, and actually erased what I had in before because it was only partial, and pasted it in there. 88 pages later, yes, it was 88 pages of notes, boom, there was all the files. And that was really, really handy. So that is something you can do as well. We got a note here from the Facebook user. Thanks for sharing. You bet. Glad to have you here and doing that, and appreciate you joining us from over there on Facebook, somewhere on Facebook. But yeah, this kind of thing is real good. Well, now let me show you what I did as well a little bit further. I went even further. You're going to like this one. Again, this is I'm talking to you learners. If you're a learner and you love learning new material and you want to maximize it, you want to go back over and repeat it easily and let it be something you can go back to. Ooh, remember that meeting we went to last March when Sally Smith was talking about oodly boodlies, and oodly boodlies is really important? Well, you could go back and review it real quickly. That way you've got it right there in Google Docs, so you can access it from your laptop computer, access it from your iOS iPhone, your iPad. You can access from your Android. You can access it from Windows, Mac. It wouldn't matter. It's Google Docs. You go in there and you can see it. And let me show you what I did. So this is where we take it. We take the combination of Zoom and the combination of Google Docs, put them together, and it gives you a superior learning experience. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. I'm going to go in here and share my screen. Click on there. There we go. And I'm going to click over here. There it is. And now I've got this on the screen. Right here, I'm in the middle of it. This is the text here, and you don't have to worry about what was said there. Hold on, let me get over here into this and gussy this one up. There's a technical term. Gussy it up. So you see there it is. And these are the actual words that were used in that meeting at that point after 8 minutes, 42 seconds. This was actually in the warm-up when they're saying, welcome everyone, and we're going to talk about this. And we've got the reverberation. We were working on a couple little sound issues there. And by the way, Tiffany and Austin were working on that. And they did a great job. They're wonderful people taking care of that stuff and putting it together. So you see, here it is all the way through. And notice what we have there. On the left side, 8 minutes, 51, 18. 8:51, 21. I can see that, and come on down here, 8:51:40, 8:51:48, et cetera, et cetera. So that way you know where it is. And by the way, I made a note to myself. I kind of went through it very quickly and saw, oh, okay, there was a lot of talk on here, a lot of things going on with it, and it was somewhere around the 20-minute mark that they finally got to the essence of what was going to be there. There was the announcements and all that. Then the person comes up, says, hi, welcome, we're glad to be here. Nice connecting with the audience kind of comments at first. But what I'm really interested in, the stark raving learner that I am, just learning aggressively to get in there, is because I need all the help I can get, okay? And I want to get in there. I saw it was around 21 minutes when she started giving some of that great content that she had. So I thought, that's good. So I can just bounce down there, and I can go through it real quickly and zero in on the gems and the jewels that were given. So that is how you can do it. And then here, let me show you even more what I did on this. I'm going to go over here. Let me come back. Whoops, get back over here. And I'm going to share my screen again. There we are. Let me go back to the top. Here's what I did also is I took pictures, took screenshots as we do today, and here she had a slide called I hate sales. That kind of thinking will keep you broke. And she's right. She's right there. And so you see here we were another screen that I got here. She had 9 boxes here that she called her bat scan. Real good stuff and things that you can go through. And those were the points she made. So I grabbed those screens. And you see what I did is I brought these screen grabs in there so that I could have all of those screens that were important, including the people that were there. There they are, all that. And then here was another couple of slides with the name or the pointers that she had. So I've got all of that right here in this Google Doc, along with the actual text, the words that were said. So to me, hey, I get excited about something like this because that gives me the ability to learn more, learn faster, and retain it longer. So those are the key steps that you want to go through. But I love this. I can go through this. And notice what I've done is within Google Docs, what I did is I went in here and I made sure that it was a little bit larger than so I could read it a little bit easier. And you can adjust it. There's all kinds of good tools you can do within Google Docs. Matter of fact, if I want to say, oh, hey, this is real important right here. Buzzing, reverberation, yes, super fuzzy. If for whatever reason I want to do that, well, then obviously I could go into Google Docs and use the yellow highlighter and put it in like that. You know, that would be just for me, and it's there, and I've got it. Or I can underline it or make something larger, or bring in another graphic somewhere, or bring in the screens more appropriate. I put all my screenshots at the beginning. Just easier that way. All the various screenshots that I got for that particular meeting, put it at the beginning. Now, could I go through and place them right in the correct position where they were talking about this topic and put it in? Well, yeah, you can, and there's a place for that. But this is a little bit different approach. What I'm doing here is doing this just so that I can learn, so I can make sure I'm getting the kind of information that I want very clearly and making that happen. So this is something that I just discovered the other day. Actually just a little bit last week, and I wanted to share this with you so that you can use that, experiment with it, and let me know how it turns out. And you can leave a comment in the comment below, even if you're getting the recording on this, because we follow up on this and we catch up to see what's going on regularly on these things. So again, here's what you need to do, kind of recap. Get your admin, the Zoom account admin, to be sure and turn that on. You saw how we do it, and those instructions are very detailed on the Zoom site at zoom.us. And so you go to zoom.us, you'll see that. Actually do a Google search on it. And then you'll go over to zoom.us to your account, and you click that to say, yes, we want transcripts. We want to get that. That opens it up, makes it available for your account. That's what the admin does. You, as a user, want to go down on the, when that, by the way, that condition is set, you'll see on the bottom of your screen an option for transcripts. Click on that, and then it'll show you, do you want to see the transcripts? Do you want to see them flow? Do you want to see it on the side? And I chose both. I kind of liked it over on the side because that put it here away from covering up some of the names on the gallery view. I wanted to see who the people were. So I put it over there on the right, and it was there scrolling along as the words were said. It was amazing to hear the person say those words and watch them being typed out. I'll use the word typed rather loosely there, typed out on the screen, and I could see that. So I had that available, and then what I did is when I wanted to save it, I clicked on Save File there in the lower right corner in the transcripts. Save File. And then what that did is it saved a temporary copy up to that point of what was done. Make sure that you get the final save file. It should save that for you automatically when the session is over. So that then it will appear on your computer in a folder, I think it's under the Zoom folder, TXT file, or a VTT file, I think that's what it is, a VTT, as in Victor, Tango, Tango. So it puts that in there like that, works it with it, then you take that file and you put it where you want. I'm using Google Docs. Just Google Docs is handy. You might say, hey, I want to put it into Microsoft Word, or I want to put it into Pages, or whatever. Whatever floats your boat. You go right ahead, have a good time with that, pop it in there, and then my suggestion is experiment with this. Let me know what you think. I take the screenshots that I got of very important slides or whatever was relevant during that meeting, or anything else that might be relevant. I might run over to a website that they mentioned. The speaker might say, oh, you need to go over to this website and take a look at what they've got with that spinning ball or this red letter or whatever. Get a shot of that and bring that in as well. So this way you've got an entity to go back during your learning and study time. For me, that's usually in the mornings, and sometimes I'll do it at night as well, but I find I'm a little more fresh in the morning. So I like to get up early in the morning, spend some time. Matter of fact, right back there in my study, I'm here in my study, and I'll be there looking at it, studying it, and going over those notes that I saw before. And then I'm able to refresh my memory and say, oh, okay, that's good. This is what is happening. This is who's watching this right now. Here's who's doing those kind of things. And it makes it much better for me all the way around. So we see that there's a lot of potential with this. This gives you the ability to do even more and be able to do a whole lot more as you're working with various packages. So I will look forward to hearing from you. But before we leave, got a couple of good things here I want to show you that are going on here, that there's possibilities for using many, many more tools and techniques here. And I will look forward to hearing what you think about these and how they could best work in your real world experience. I'm Terry Brock for Dental Nachos. Thanks for joining me today.